Hello everyone and welcome to another really important game from Norway chess. It is world champion Ding Liren versus Hikaru Nakamura. For Ding it's important because Ding can't seem to win a game and can't seem to not lose a game. For that matter, and if he loses this one, he is going to drop out of the world top 10. So we will have a world champion who is not rated in the top 10 chess players in the world, and I really have no idea when was the last time that happened. But Hikaru, if he wins this one, he of course breaks 2800 and joins Fabian Magnus in that most prestigious club. So let's check it out. Ding with the white pieces opens with pawn to d4. We have pawn to d5, c4, and now Hikaru already on move 2 decides to play not for equality, plays for a surprise, plays for the attack, plays for the win. He plays the 8th most popular continuation here, and that is pawn to c5. This is the Austrian variation, and I'm guessing that if you weren't in playing against someone who is in this shape, you would not play such a move. But I guess Hikaru senses that he can get something out of it, so he plays it. Pawn to c5. Okay, c captures on d5. We have knight to f6, knight to c3, and knight captures on d5. Grabbing back the pawn, we have knight to f3, and c captures on d4. Queen captures and knight captures on c3. We have queen captures on c3 and knight to c6. We have pawn to e4, pawn to a6, and now bishop to e2, and pawn to e5. Hikaru being very tricky, he wants to win Ding's queen with bishop to b4, but of course Ding is a world champion, he will not fall for that. Pawn to a3, and it is now as of move 10 that we have a completely new game. There is a game where castles was played, here a3, both of them obviously stop bishop to b4, so bishop to g4, and now castles kingside. We have rook to c8, Hikaru nicely aligns his rook with the white queen. Queen to b3, Ding puts pressure on the b7 pawn, and perhaps in some lines could put some pressure on f7. So knight to a5 defends b7, attacks the white queen. Queen to a4 with check. We have pawn to b5 and queen back to d1, offering a queen trade. And Hikaru trades. Queen captures, rook captures, and now knight back to b3. Or knight forward to b3, attacking the rook and the bishop. Rook to b1, and now bishop to c5. And it's not like anyone surprised anyone out of the opening. Okay, Hikaru obviously surprised Ding on move 2. I don't think you can be ready for that. But it's move 16. They have equal time, an hour and 10 minutes both around that time. So okay, king to f1. Ding wants to bring the king closer to the action, and pawn to f6 by Hikaru, strengthening the center, the e5 pawn, as now the king defends the bishop, so knight captures on e5 was a threat. We have rook to d3, a very nice rook lift going after the knight, bishop back to e6, defending the knight. We have knight to d2, offering a trade, and now Hikaru spent some 15 minutes, which is quite a lot in Hikaru time, and he could go for the dark square bishop. Of course, you very much want to be the guy wielding the bishop pair in a position like this where there's play on both sides of the board, but he goes for knight to d4, puts pressure on the light square bishop instead, and pawn to b4 by Ding. The strongest move in any position, bishop to b6 and bishop to b2 now. And also, if you capture the bishop on c1, you would just activate Ding's pieces a bit prematurely. So knight captures on e2 by Hikaru, winning the bishop pair this way. King captures, and now king to e7, getting the other rook into the game. We have pawn to f3, strengthening the e4 pawn, and here Hikaru goes rook to c2. Interestingly, the engine thinks g5 is winning, and when I say thinks, of course that is true. Because rook to g8 and g4 seems to be an unstoppable threat. But those are engine moves. So okay, we go for the human move, rook to c2 and rook to c3. Ding offers a trade of rooks. We have bishop to c4 with check, king to e1, and now bishop to f2 with check. Hikaru even tries giving up a bishop, so eliminating his bishop pair in order to capture on d2 and put more pressure on the second rank. And it's the only way for Ding to play. For example, king captures, rook captures on d2, king to g1, and now after, let's say, rook h to d8, you play rook back to c1, and you sort of hold. It's a very passive position, but it's the best you can hope for. However, Ding played king to d1, he attacked the rook on c2, and now Hikaru's position is just winning. Rook captures on c3, bishop captures, and now rook to d8, pinning the knight here, and rook back to a1. You could also try some other moves, but the rook here could become a target. So rook to a1, also preparing pawn to a4 to maybe break through here and go for some 7th rank action, and bishop to f1, going after the g2 pawn. The knight, of course, is pinned. So you can see how the bishop pair is just much stronger, much more mobile than the knight and bishop combo here. And Hikaru's king much safer than Ding's king on d1. We have pawn to g3. The active a4 was better here, but Ding goes for the passive g3, and now bishop back to e3. We have pawn to a4. B captures on a4, rook captures, and now Hikaru just brings the bishop back. Bishop to b5, attacks the rook, rook back to a1, and rook to d3. Increasing the pressure, putting pressure on the bishop on c3, rook to c1 defending, and now pawn to h5. We have king to c2, unpinning, and now bishop captures on d2. Maybe a bit premature, maybe you want to start something like g5, but Hikaru says nope, it's perfectly fine. Bishop captures on d2, bishop captures, and now rook captures on f3. It's a pawn, it's a healthy pawn, and yes, bishops are of the opposite color, but it's going to be very hard to defend these pawns. And also you can see that Hikaru has 2 pawn islands, Ding has 3 pawn islands, so Ding's pawns will be a lot more vulnerable. We have rook to e1 and bishop to c6, putting pressure on the e4 pawn. Maybe not the most precise way. The most precise way would be pawn to h4, but it is sufficient. Bishop to c6. We have rook to e3 going after the rook on f3, and rook to f2. And now Ding goes for pawn to h4. Bishop to a4 with check, king to c3, and now king to e6. We have rook to e1. Move 40 has been reached. Rook to g2 going after the pawn, and now rook to e3. So how can Hikaru win at least one more pawn? Pawn to g6, we have bishop to e1, and now bishop to b5. We have king to b3 and bishop to e2. Bishop back to c3, and now rook to f2. We have king to c2, bishop to g4, opening up a discovery to the white king, bishop to d2 blocking, and now bishop back to e2. We have bishop back to c3, and now bishop to f3 with check. We have king to d3 and bishop to g2. Okay, rook to e1, Ding going for a rook trade, sorry, not rook to e2, rook to e1, and not going for a rook trade, and now pawn to g5 by Hikaru. Bishop to d2 and g captures on h4, g captures and bishop to f1 with check. King to c3, and now bishop to e2. We have bishop to e3 attacking Hikaru's rook, rook to h2, and now bishop to c5, but Hikaru just goes back, bishop to b5, and he was in this position on move 54 that world champion Ding Liren resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. Not only is Hikaru up a pawn, he will win the h4 pawn on the next move. There is nothing you can do about it, and that's just it. 2 pawns are too much to handle. There's no counter, like maybe something like rook to d1 followed by rook to d6, but it does literally nothing. Rook to d6 check, king f7. There's nothing. Everything is defended. This is defended. The base of the pawn chain is defended. You cannot reach it. This pawn is hanging. You will move the rook. You will start advancing the h pawn. This is winning. However you want to win it and play it. So yeah, brilliant stuff by Hikaru, taking down the world champion, like I said, on move 2 with the 8th most popular continuation. Absolutely stunning. And yeah, Hikaru with this victory over the world champion breaks through the 2800 barrier. He was there before, so it's not the first time for him, but as you can see, Hikaru is now world number 3 at 2802. Very close to Fabi. He could overtake Fabi in the next game that he plays, and then, well, sky's the limit if he can reach Magnus. And the Ding Liren drops out of the world top 10. And I really cannot remember the last time we've had a world classical champion who was not rated, you know, not first or top 3, but in the top 10. We would have to go really far back to, for that to have happened. But yeah, if any of you know, do share in the comments. I will pin your comment for everyone else to see as well. So yeah, the bad streak continues for Ding. Hard to say what's going on here, as Hikaru said in the confessional that he's very concerned for Ding against Gukesh, that he feels bad for the guy. But who knows? Maybe Ding recovers, and maybe we see the Ding from maybe 2016 or 2015 or 2017. That we all love and enjoy watching his games. So yeah, that's the game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Very nicely played by Hikaru. I mean, such a move against the world champion. Beautiful stuff. I would like to thank Barry Gerald Larkin, Christopher Drake, Richard Nickerson, Ivan Sterling, and Michael Bowers for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.